what is the best advice you can give for like a student and like attitude when you're doing that? Because you kind of say a big F you to a lot of people, and I like that.
Say, you mean
I like attitude when you're
what attitude
when you're in the production, which you've done it all, and what's the best attitude to really give?
The best attitude in production is really really wanting to help a lot, really wanting to help whoever's show it is be really great. I think that's anybody who's doing any job, really. Should want that job to be done really well. I mean, this is a simple answer, but it's really true.
Yeah.
There's one person really usually that has an idea of how to do something, and everybody else should really want. I mean, it's such a rare and great gift to get a job in show business. It's very, very. It's not. You're not going to get one. I mean, statistically, you're not.
So you're saying this is how you actually talk?
I'm talking like my mom.
I don't believe in it. I don't believe in raising your kids rich.
Right.
Is the worst thing you can do.
I'm not condoning rape, obviously. You should never rape anyone. Unless you have a reason, like you want to fuck somebody and they won't let you, in which case, what other option do you have? How else are you supposed to have an orgasm in their body if you don't rape them? I mean, what the fuck?
Do for them, or really more for the people that they're going to impact later in life.
Yeah.
Because there's no way somebody who's raised rich is not going to be a piece of human being. There's just no way. I mean, I know. I mean, if you're raised rich, if you get rich through work,
that's okay.
But if you were a kid that was given a Porsche when he was 17, what are the chances? Oh, he's so sage and cool, that guy who got a free sports car when he was a child.
Yeah.
I don't believe, and it's why the world is a little messed up, because until like a minute ago, historically, the rule was that if the king died, his kid got to run the country. That's the craziest system. Yeah. The king is dead. Who of the whole nation can we count on to move us forward? Well, there's Copernicus. He's really smart. Nah. Let's see. The king's son is 17. He's been living in a castle and raping chambermaids for 3 years. Let's let him run everything. He drinks chocolate for dinner. You know?
I wish I could bring home more money. Hey.
I was on a plane. I was flying out to Los Angeles recently for a lot of important stuff, and I was sitting on an aisle seat with with 3 seats next. It was like a very crowded, stressful flight, and we're about to take off, and this woman gets on with her baby like this, and her husband and 2 other just sad-looking kids, and she's just walking through the plane, hating people with her baby. She's so upset, and I saw her come, and I realized that she's sitting here. No. And I'm like, So she comes up and she says, okay, here's how this is going to work. This is all true. She goes, you're sitting in the middle, I'm sitting in the aisle, because I have a baby. Oh. And I thought, okay. And I told her, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get off the plane.
Just get off.
So I got off the plane. True story.
I don't get why there's an FCC that can make those rules. I don't understand it. It doesn't jibe with what I understand about America and the First Amendment. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, they're just words, right?
What?
They're just words.
Yeah, but you want to let me finish?
I wouldn't do that if I was you.
Why? It says press.
So you press a thing because it says press? You would not have survived the camps.
What? It's...
Dude.
It says press.
Go ahead.
Why would they make it say
Press
press?
the arc button. Enjoy.
Nigger.
Whoa.
I had to flush my daughter's fish down the toilet. I came home, the fish was dead. She wasn't home from school yet, so I just flushed the fish. And then my daughter comes home. Why did he die, Dad? Come on, what am I gonna say? Why did he die? Because who gives a shit? That's the reason. That's the actual reason. Is because it didn't matter that he was alive. That's why he's dead. He didn't know his name and he didn't love you back. These are the facts about that fish's life. Children who have nut allergies need to be protected. Of course. We have to segregate their food from nuts. have their medication available at all times. And anybody who manufactures or serves food needs to be aware of deadly nut allergies. Of course. But maybe if touching a nut kills you, you're supposed to die. I'm not saying don't get married. If you meet somebody, fall in love and get married, and then get divorced, because that's the best part. It's the best part. Marriage is just like a larva stage for true happiness, which is divorce, because you just let go and everything's fine now. Divorce is forever. I took both my kids to the aquarium in Boston, and we were looking at this seal or sea lion. I don't know which one. I don't care. I don't think they need to be separate things. I really don't. They don't care, and we don't care. There's like 3 scientists who give a shit what we call all those things. Of course, if you're fighting for your country and you get shot or hurt, it's a terrible tragedy. Of course. Of course. But maybe if you pick up a gun and go to another country and you get shot, it's not that weird. Maybe if you get shot by the dude you were just shooting at, it's a tiny bit your fault. If you're in a good marriage, stay in it. If you're in the best marriage ever, stay in it. I'm just saying, if you got out, it would be better. That's just a fact. I'm sorry, but it's true. Everything's better. Of course, slavery is the worst thing that ever happened. Of course it is. Every time it's happened. Black people in America, Jews in Egypt, every time a whole race of people has been enslaved, it's a terrible, horrible thing. Of course. But maybe every incredible human achievement in history was done with slaves. Every single thing where you go, how did they build those pyramids? They just threw human death and suffering at them until they were finished. Nobody's watching your kids' videos on Facebook, I promise you. I'll prove it to you. Next time you tape your kids dance, take 1 second of it, and then add 20 minutes of just your own asshole. Just go in the bathroom and just record your own anus opening and closing for 20 minutes.
I'll take an 11:30 p.m. nap and go to bed at midnight.
Oh, come on.
Yes, because I don't take a nap because I need one. I just love it's my favorite thing.
You like it better than sleep? Sleep is like the ultimate nap.
That's stupid. You just said that. That was a dumb thing to say.
What are you talking
That
about?
was such a dumb thing to say.
You know, kids are mean, and it's because they're trying it out. They look at a kid and they go, "You're fat," and then they see the kid's face scrunch up and they go, "Ooh, that doesn't feel good to make a person do that."
Right.
But they got to start with doing the mean thing. But when they write "you're fat," then they just go, that was fun. I like that.
You're the only person we could find who would come here to defend masturbation.
Well, I like it. It's easy and it's fun and nobody gets hurt.
The Bible teaches us that lust in your heart is a sin when acted upon outside the context of marriage.
Well, I'm not married, so anything I do is outside of that context.
I was living here at the time, and I was driving really fast. I was speeding because I was in a hurry. So I was making other people almost die because my bad judgment. So I'm driving, and then I realize there's a car next to me who's driving fast. It's a kid like 19 years old in a green Honda that he made at his house. You know those cars? I do. He's got spiky hair. And he keeps, so I'm like, good, I don't care. Let's both get to my show on time. I'm fine. He thinks we're racing. I'm not racing. But so we get to the next red light, and he's looking at me, and he's going, "Woo," like this, and I go, "What happened to your hand?" Like, I don't understand I don't know what that means. If other people don't know the thing, it doesn't scare them. He's like, "Yeah, whoa," and I'm like, I don't know it. So he goes, I said to him, "Listen, I'm not trying to go fast relative to you. I just have my own independent reason for my speed." And he got angry at all the words and everything, and he pulled out a gun and he pointed it at me. So I go through the red light. And he does too. And I was like, oh, I'm thinking, oh, he's trying to kill me, but he's not gonna go through a red light. You know? I'm sure he's thinking ahead to how that's gonna hurt his insurance premiums in the long run. So now I'm in a car chase. in LA. I'm being chased, and it doesn't feel like a car chase. It's a beautiful day. I'm listening to Simon and Garfunkel on my radio. Being chased through, I am just a poor boy, though my story's seldom told. I've wondered. So I call 911 on my cell phone, and I go, there's a guy chasing me with a gun, and he's trying to kill me. That's what I said. And the lady goes, why is he doing that? I swear to God, why is he doing that? I'm like, is there a reason he could have that you would not send anyone to help me? Like, if I tell her the story... Like, I'm going to tell her the story, and she's going to go, it sounds like you made a mess for yourself. We're not going to get involved. So I did the same thing anytime I call a company and I don't like what. You hang up, you call again.
Right. Get another person.
Get another person. So I get another guy. He goes, 911, what's your emergency? And I tell him, and helicopters show up right away. I guess I just sound white enough to call in an airstrike. I'm nervous.
I mean, you didn't have, were you a bad kid?
I wasn't a bad kid, but I got in trouble because I just was alone and I just... You know, like I got into stealing tampons at one point.
For profit?
No, I didn't make a dime.
Well, how would this work? I hesitate to ask, but how would this work?
No, I was 8 years old, and I just went into a CVS one day because I just roamed store aisles, and I was looking at the tampons, and I was sort of staring at them with this. I knew there was something dirty about them. I didn't know what they were. And I picked one up. I got the gall to pick one up, and I'm looking at this box of tampons, and someone came around the corner, so I put it in my jacket. And now I have stolen them. Yeah. Because if I take them out, that someone saw that I had them in my jacket. In my head, I'm like, that's it. They're in there. I can't. So I left, and I had sweat on my face. And I just went home, and I threw them under my bed, and I'm eating dinner. Like, everybody knows I have tampons under my bed. And so it was a terrible, stressful experience, which I then repeated every day for like 2 months. I'd go back and I'd just do the whole cycle. I just kept doing it. And I never got caught. I mean, they probably saw me, but the guy's like, I'm not confronting the kid who takes the tampons. I'll pay for him out of my check before I live that moment. I'm not asking that little pervert what he's doing with us.
Yeah, there's something wrong with that boy.
Something's really wrong with him.
And how did it end?
Well, they kept going under my bed, and I just tried not to think about him. And then one day I looked, and they were just gone. They just were gone, and my mom never said anything. She must have been a little cleaning up, and she was like, what the what is this? It's crazy.
Wow, that's...
I don't know, maybe she used them for like 10 years. I don't know. I mean, would she throw them away?
I was born in 1967, and so I grew up in the 70s. So I'm not racist. However, that was a very racist decade. People said racist things all the time, and nobody got offended. The only time somebody got offended if you said something racist in the 70s is when they would then say, like, hey, you interrupted me. I was saying something racist. Why did you? My kids are like Israel and Palestine, and I'm like America. The little one's like Palestine because she always gets screwed. She gets the worst deals. She's like, she threw a rock at my face. I'm like, you're fine. Here's a joke. Why did the chicken cross the road? Because there was a black guy walking behind him. We had a town child molester. His name was Jean-Baptiste. It's a true story. And he liked teenage boys. That's when you would find out, because I was a teenage boy. He didn't like me. I felt a little bad.
I have this friend, he has a phone that can IM, he can instant message, and so now I really want him to die, because I'm sick of getting these fucking messages from him on his phone. I'm in a shoe store. That's the whole message. We're not secret agents. I don't need to know where you are.
You know, kids are mean, and it's because they're trying it out. They look at a kid and they go, you're fat. And then they see the kid's face scrunch up and they go, ooh, that doesn't feel good to make a person do that. Right. But they got to start with doing the mean thing. But when they write you're fat, then they just go, that was fun. I like that.
So I get this message from him. He says, I'm on an airplane in Seattle. So I wrote back and I said, well, I hope your plane crashes. And he gets pissed off and he calls me, take it back. We're about to take off. I'm like, fuck you. I hope it crashes. I don't have to take it back.
Don't be a musician. That's a stupid thing to do for a living. But if it doesn't work out the way you wanted,
You can look at these, you've got these guys here. And he tries to he goes, well, how are you going to feel now if my plane crashes after you went and said that? I'm like, are you shitting me? That would be amazing. To know that I can do that? I'd happily trade your life for knowledge of my powers.
Enjoy each other under his loving gaze.
When you mean that God watches married people have sex?
God watches over everything.
So we're like porn for God. He watches us, and then he probably masturbates.
Have you ever tried?
Tried not to masturbate?
Yes.
Well, sometimes I won't do it for like a week, but that's just so that when I do it again, it'll be way better.
I'm thinking of buying a goat. Because I want to have a trash can that I can make love to. I can do that with the trash can I have now, but a goat has a vagina. That makes it a lot better. Hey, what would you do if you had a time machine? Like, fuck you. You know what? I wouldn't use it. I just let it sit in my house. I'd put a drink on it. And yeah, I got a time machine. I never even wanted it. I don't know. I'm not interested. I'd use it to go back 30 minutes ago and punch you in the fucking face before you asked me that. That's all. One use.
I'm a good citizen, I'm a good father, I recycle, and I masturbate. And I'm proud of it. And God's happy. And later I'm going to masturbate and I'm going to think about you. And there's nothing you can do about it.
So he said if he had a time machine, he would kill Hitler. Like he would go back and kill Hitler. I love that he thinks he can just kill Hitler just because he just goes back there and walk up and kill the dude. And I was thinking, that's a noble purpose for a time machine. I would do that, but I would have gone back then, but I wouldn't have killed Hitler. I would have raped him. That's what I thought. Because I think that would have been enough. I think that would have stopped him from doing all that shit. If he had been raped by me, he never would have pulled any of that stuff, man.
I got to get the phone and write hi to like 50 people. And then, somebody cool writes back, and then somebody not as cool writes after, and I'm like, you, I'm not going to...